2018 PDC Austrian Open Darts Championships here in Graz. Time to meet our players. Introducing to you first, World Grand Prix runner-up and the first man to hit a perfect 9-dart finish with a double start and double finish. From Ireland, it's time to meet the history maker, Brendan Dolan! To meet Ian Diamond White.
There is only one man who has beaten the world #1 Michael van Gerwen on the European Tour this year, and you are looking at him, Ian Diamond White. The man from Stoke, a multiple winner of PDC ranking events, but yet to claim a European Tour title. He has made a final before, but you've got to go back 6 years for when that happened. He's up against Brendan Dolan, the Northern Irishman, a man who has made a European Tour final himself. He's won 5 PDC ranking titles, but it is 3.5 years since he claimed his last one. Is the history maker on his way back? Can he challenge here this weekend? To do so, he's going to have to knock out the #8 seed Ian White on a day which has seen all 3 seeded players in action so far progress. Although Steve beaten the bronze Adonis, doing so by a narrow margin against Luke Humphries. I'm Dan Dawson. Rob Malarkey joins me in the commentary box for the Diamond versus the history maker, White v Dolan.
Yeah, looking forward to this. The board has just had a minor adjustment, a minor tweak from our referee for this one, Kirk Bevins. So Dolan's still not quite happy with things.
I think he's only not happy with things because he's just missed the targets he was aiming at. Put it back to how it was.
A little bit off-centre. Yeah, Ian White, for me, I think, producing one of the performances of the European Tour so far this year, last weekend. I mean, he'd already put in that whitewash against Chizzy beforehand, but then, against Van Gerwen, an average of 105.92, 6 out of 7 on the doubles as well, ending Van Gerwen's bid for a 3rd European Tour title of 2018. But then, of course, White's run was abruptly brought to a shuddering halt in that 7-1 defeat by Michael Smith in the semis, and Smith himself put in some very, very good numbers in that one as well. But 8 career ranking titles to his name for Ian White after that success in Milton Keynes recently, ending a very, very long wait, 19 months or so since his previous title in August of 2016. He is a very live candidate for this one, I feel. #8 seed now after Van Gerwen's withdrawal as well. So seeded to make the quarterfinals. But first things first, he has to see off a man who came through his opening match yesterday. Brendan Dolan beating Alan Sabin in our first match of the weekend here in Graz.
Well, we've already seen one Northern Irishman win on the tour this year, Mickey Mansell. Brendan's former World Cup of Darts partner.
140.
The man who made the semi-finals of the World Cup of Darts for Brendan. A magical weekend in Germany where, for my money, Brendan was the best player in the tournament. But the Dutch ended their hopes in a doubles match that would decide the tie, where Barney and Van Gerwen averaged 117, I think it was, between. It was ridiculous. He couldn't miss those two.
100.
I did suggest to Brendan, all these Northern Irish darts players keep winning things. Nathan Rafferty on the development tour, Mickey Mansell in the Players' Championship. And he goes, I don't care. I might be friends with them, I don't care. I want it to be me. Forget everyone else. Mickey who?
134.
Well, he's got work to do in this first leg, Dan. If he is to
45.
emulate his fellow Ulstermen and their achievements this year as far as this individual match is concerned. Ian White's had a very productive year all round. Talks about that title in Milton Keynes and that win over Van Gerwen last weekend. He's had 2 semi-finals and a quarter-final as well. One of them was in the second UK Open qualifier, where he had a 9-darter as well against Darryl Gurney.
45.
Did I say 9-darter?
See 9-darters all the time. In every other tour.
Shot on the first leg, Ian White.
Just not here.
Second leg is Brendan to throw first, Ian White.
He has got a bit of a reputation as a serial quarter-finalist, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Ian White. He's a bit like
justified.
A bit like England used to be.
Yeah.
Before they became experts in reaching the last 16 and failing to get out the group, they were very much nailed on for a quarter-final berth. And Ian White developed that reputation. I would love to see him do well on the European Tour again. I think last weekend
100
was indicative of the way it goes for him sometimes. Puts in a tremendous performance, but then straight away unable to back it up against Michael Smith. And then in turn, of course, Michael Smith was beaten by Max Hopp. It was it was just a wonderful tournament all round.
Yeah, 7 times Ian White has made the quarterfinals of a big televised tournament and failed to make it through.
41.
And he's come very, very close. The UK Open, beaten by Gerwyn Price, having mismatched darts. Was in charge against Michael Van Gerwen in the quarterfinals of the World Match Play back in 2015 and was just reeled in and beaten 16-13. He has come agonisingly close to a first major semi-final, and if he does get through, he's got the game to go on and win. Because he's won those 8 ranking titles. He did win the News of the World back in 1997.
46.
We're on about big PDC televised titles here, and Ian White now, over the last few years, is a better dart player than back in the late 90s. Just very, very hard. I mean, the fact that Ian White
140
made it into the top 10 in the world rankings without having won or even made a final or even a semi of a big TV tournament just speaks volumes for his consistency all the way through the year in whatever tournament he plays.
100. Brendan Uruguay 101.
101 for the history maker, though, to level this up, starting on the 19s. Go bullseye now, and a single 17 will leave tops.
61.
Had Ian White got down to a finish there, I think Brendan may have looked at treble 14 for double top because it's a bigger target, but no pressure, so he can just ensure that he does get 3 clear darts at the double for the leg.
60. Brendan Uruguay 40.
And not a lot of pressure on this 40 either for Brendan Dolan. So he should level things up, and he does.
Brendan Dolan.
6 from 15 on his doubles yesterday. It was threatening to be a lot more in the percentages against Tabin yesterday. He started off really well on the finishes, just tailed off towards the end of that one and in the second half of that one, but it was a more productive display of finishing by Brendan Dolan yesterday, averaging 92 in that win against Alan Tabin. Ian White had an awful time of it here last year in Austria. Lost to Martin Schindler in the second round when we were in Vienna last summer. 6-2 the score that day.
Dolan
did not qualify for this tournament last year. He only made it to 2 of these Euro Tour events in 2017 and won only 1 match. That was in Riesa.
Yeah, I've got a feeling that defeat to Schindler was when Martin Schindler, it was the first time where Schindler had really stepped up and on a big stage put in a massive display. He averaged almost 100 in that game, Martin Schindler, and I don't think he was missing anything in terms of the doubles, certainly for the first 4 or 5 legs. I've got a feeling he was 5-0 up in that game. But it was a 6-2 defeat, but Shindy was playing some fantastic stuff. He went on to make the quarterfinals and only lost to Michael van Gerwen, and MVG going on and winning the tournament.
100.
Yeah, Kim Viljonen got to the quarters that weekend as well. That was a great tournament for him.
Christo Reyes into the semis.
Chris Dobie won 12 legs on the spin in that tournament as well. He lost the opening leg of his first match, won the next 6, and then won 6-0 in his second round, and then lost to Viljonen in the match after that. It was a great tournament, great final as well. Smith and Van Gerwen. Michael Smith in action later, 2 times a finalist in Austria. Can he make it 3rd time lucky? He gets his campaign underway later this afternoon against Michael Barnard.
Shot the 3rd leg.
As Ian White gets his nose back in front at 2-1.
Yeah, 13 data, strong stuff, and Ian White might just be moving through the gears.
100.
Simon Whitlock or Adam Hunt await the winner of this one.
Yeah, that'll be the 3rd game on this evening's session as the Diamond. Still looking for a first 180 in this one. We're not going to see it here. 177 instead.
Just for you, Kirk, that one.
Loves a 177, does Bevan. Ian White, only Stephen Bunting and Rob Cross have hit more 180s per visit in the Players' Championship Series. That's over 27 games that Ian White is producing. He's hitting a 180, 6.9% of his visits. Fact fans.
Like it.
In total, he has hit 82 in 27 games, so more, about 3 a game.
Yeah.
Not bad going. The only 4 players have got a higher average than Ian White over those 8 events. Adrian Lewis, Dave Chisnell, Gary Anderson and James Wilson. Oh no, hang on, tell a lie. Sorry, Adrian Lewis, Gary Anderson, Rob Cross and Michael van Gerwen. There we go.
Okay.
130.
If you're going to have 4 players ahead of you in any sort of ranking, fair enough.
Fair enough.
MVG,
Those
Rob
4.
Cross, Gary Anderson, Adrian Lewis. Now then, Dolan needs more.
100.
Just a ton. Is it enough? The Diamond had a look at this one in the last leg, but not under pressure. Not going to take it out. 75 scored. Down for the 17s.
126.
Wonderful set-up shot again.
Beautiful. On for another 13 dart leg here. Ian White, he had a 13 dart leg in the 3rd.
Good guide, you would think. But he can't find the 54 that he needed. And the Diamond for the first breaking throw. Does have a winning record against Brendan Dolan. 6 wins out of their 10 meetings. And in a strong position now to make it 7 out of 11.
Mid leg is Ian to throw first. Game on.
Brendan Dolan is a former finalist on the European Tour. Go back to the Dutch Darts Masters back in 2013. That was when Kim Huybrechts won his first one. Beat Dolan in the final, 6-3. And it felt like a change for Dolan then, because he made all kinds of finals in the PDC and lost every single one of them. And then something just clicked. And over the next year, he made 5 more finals and won every single one of them. Beating the likes of Gary Anderson, Michael Smith, Jamie Lewis, Jamie Robinson in one of them, and Rapid Ricky Evans. A real tortoise and hare encounter.
140.
Slow and steady did win the race. He's only made one final since then, and that was, well, almost 3 years ago to the day. He's edged out by Adrian Lewis in the Players' Championship. And it's since then that he's started to struggle. He's been going out early in major tournaments, failing to qualify for some major tournaments. Still hanging in there, still battling away, but not having the success that he was having 4 or 5 years ago. And we see a renaissance from Brendan Dolan. He was going to walk away from the game before he made the Grand Prix final. It convinced him that he had a future in darts, and he was right.
140.
Overwhelmingly so. His total career earnings, well, it's £2/3 of £1 million. I mean, he'd have had to do a lot of painting and decorating in his former life to earn that kind
100.
of
And then you require 161.
Dolan always seems disappointed with whatever he throws.
Might not be with this.
Won't be disappointed if he finds this, and he has, and he's now looking at the bullseye for a 3-2 deficit, and it's just the wrong side of the red stuff.
125.
Now then.
25 and ball.
Oh.
Ball!
100. And then you require 25.
Well, great attempt by Ian White. And to make matters worse, he may well lose the leg here as well. Dolan looking for a break back, and that's exactly what he's got. 3-2. Could have been 4-1 so easily.
Game on.
Dolan a lot better off than he was 2 or 3 minutes ago. So then he undoes all the hard work, all the good stuff in the finale to the last leg, with an opening bed and breakfast shot there as well.
$140.
And White just threatens to turn the screw once again with an opening salvo of 140.
Not seen these two get going on this scoring as much as you might have anticipated, particularly Ian White. But the finishing has been very good. They've only missed 3 darts at double between them, and 2 of those have been at the bullseye at the end of big combination shots.
Yeah, and once again it's happening right here too, because
43.
an opening 140 backed up by a 43. In the 4th leg there was that opening 177 backed up by a 45, and as you say, Dan, that's been largely the story of this match so far, just that inability to string some big numbers together over a sustained period here.
Yeah, I mean, look, Ian White is still averaging in the high 9. I mean, it's solid stuff. It's kind of like the Ian White average that you expect, that sort of 97 mark. But usually he scores more heavily.
81.
I've already said that he hits a lot of 180s, very, very regular 180s. But it's also, you know, Ian White, you're just expecting him to come away with a ton every time he goes to the board, minimum.
140.
Chance now to level this game up for Brendan Dolan.
$95.
So much room in that 60 after the first dart, and only comes away with another 35 points after it, and he leaves the 142 again, Ian White. 3rd time he's left it. Might not have a look at it this time, though. Oh, decides to split. Wise decision, Brendan.
Very wise decision indeed. May well have looked at White's score at 142 and decided to take the chance, felt it was worth taking the chance with White on 142, but really matters not when you take it out at the first time of asking. But White looking to respond here with a 180. Now, can he back it up?
About time, Diamond. Had to wait 6 and a bit legs.
100.
Let's have another one, Ian, shall we?
Looks like the Steinmark colours shrouded in mist.
It does, doesn't it?
Look at that. It is very, very warm out there, by the way. That went for Little wander back to the back of the crowd during the course of the last match, and yeah, it is roasting out there.
I remember it being a bit like this in Sindelfingen last year. The Glass Palace did it all seemed very misty, and Peter Wright was saying that it was genuinely, his darts were moving all over the place. I wonder if we're getting a little bit of that from these guys.
Moisture in the air, Dan.
100.
Having an impact. Yeah, it does.
On an unrelated note, Steve Beaton through to the third round tomorrow, along with Mervyn King and Gerwyn Price, all three seeded players. Ian White
85.
looking at the 125. He's not. I don't think he's going to go full 25 full like he did last time.
Is he?
No, he's not.
No, he's not.
He's going to go 60, 5, 20 to leave top.
85.
Diamond looking at another sub-15 dart leg here.
And that's exactly what he's got. 13 darts in the third leg, 14 darts in the fourth, and another one there as well. Just stops Dolan in his tracks there.
Yeah, 10 points in the averages here. 97 for Ian White, again just ticking along at the Ian White level. Brendan Dolan, oh, it's not quite 10 points now. He's just upped it by a point or two, Dolan, with that ton 40. But that suggests that their average leg is taking 6 visits to the board, and that's why Dolan has managed to keep this close, even though the winning legs, 5 of them have been 5 visits.
140.
It's all very neat and tight, isn't it? 3 14s, a 15, a 13, couple of 16s.
And I'm fairly sure the 180s market will have been very popular with these two as well. Just the one so far, and that is pretty much going according to what you would expect.
Oh, there's still time. Dolan to turn this around. Steve Beaton trailed for the vast majority of his match with Luke Humphreys and found a way to overcome him. Brendan is not going to be under any pressure for this 161. He's already missed the bullseye for it, but I don't think he's going to go for it.
161.
He might do, though. Let's find out.
Just to give the crowd something to get their teeth into.
$97.
Needs to make sure he leaves a finish here. So move to the 18s.
134. Brendan, you require 64.
Little tap on the shoulder for Brendan, just to remind him that this leg isn't won just yet. Double top it is then. For the 10.
44.
Yeah, just seems to step it up on that last dart a little bit. He'll be hopeful of coming back, but you just never know with Ian White. Lovely first dart.
Might stay there. Yeah, you can understand the thinking.
94.
Looked a very inviting lie. Would have left double 7. And as it is, he leaves tops. Dolan, his finishing has been good. Those 2 darts missed. He's still, in the last visit, he's still hitting 50% of his doubles.
On the 8 leg, Brendan Dolan.
And he's on course there as well. Maintaining that productivity with his finishing as he was in the early stages of his opening match yesterday. It's very reminiscent, actually. Question is, can he maintain it over the next 2, maybe 3 legs?
95.
I suspect we'll have 3 legs here. It just looks like the sort of match that's going to go the distance. Did have that early break for Ian White. He led 3-1, but Dolan back on track here. But Ian White, with the advantage of having thrown first, may well be a factor in determining who wins this one.
$95.
Just 60 so far for Dolan. Needs to step it up here, otherwise this leg may well slip away fairly quickly, but that's a good first start.
140.
Yeah, fight to the last, treble 20 that for Ian White. Dolan might have been thinking about the chance, may still be thinking about the chance to try and steal the darts here. If he can find 2 trebles at least. Comes downstairs to good effect as well. Good thinking from Dolan. Gets himself down to a finish with that treble 17.
Well, we've not seen a ton plus checkout in this game so far.
97.
But if Brendan can produce the biggest finish in the game, he'll become the favourite for this, probably for the first time in a match. It's low in the bed. And he can't find a way through.
105.
129 is not an easy shot. Starting on the 19s. Treble 20 and bull. Bullseye for the diamond. What a shot, Ian White!
Then they get Brendan to throw first. Game on.
Just that injection he needed at just the most perfect time as well. Okay, it's a holder throw, but it just... Well, that will have been really damaging for Brendan Dolan. That must be a real sickener for that one to see that bullseye just pinged to perfection there by Ian White. 129 checkout.
We saw a magnificent 138 from Luke Humphries in the closing stages of his game with Steve Beaton. It ended up
100.
being, well, not a decisive one. Humphries was beaten. Ian White has produced a shot of equal brilliance there, but it'll be for nothing unless he can win either this leg or the last leg decider. White would have the throw in the last leg if we go the distance, but then again Humphries had the throw in the last leg in the previous game and he didn't make it count. Ian White doesn't want a last leg decider.
He wants to finish it off here, and now he does not want to leave anything to chance. Turning the screw at just the right time here is the diamond.
55.
And 55 from Dolan leaves White very much the favourite here. Entering the home straight now, you feel. Should get down to a finish first, at least on the Dolan throw. What sort of finish it will be remains to be seen.
57.
And again, thinking clearly.
Not enough to leave a finish. It allows Ian White the luxury of just pounding that treble 20 and setting the shot up.
$130.
Well, I like that as a shot. I know he's left double 17, but he can split it if he wants to get 2 darts for the match. I think if he got a 25, he'd have been come back with 59, so it would have given him 2 match darts. Sensible stuff from Ian White. Has it paid dividends? Yes, it has. Straight in the double 17. Ian White holds off Brendan Dolan, and it is 4 wins out of 4 for the seeded players this afternoon at the Austrian Darts Open. The man who conquered Michael van Gerwen last time out on the European Tour has just put in another Ian White display, averaging round about that 98 mark and finishing Brendan Dolan off with a 13-darter. We've got 3 more games for you this afternoon. Joe Cullen, Michael Smith and Benito van der Pas looking to continue the perfect record for the seeds. But I think now it's time for something completely different.
Hello, mate. All right. Well, that wasn't bad, was it? Tough, is it? Brendan's a very tough player to play. Particularly when he's playing well. You had to do it. The 1-2-9 was crucial, wasn't it?
It was. The 1-2-9 this week, 1-5-7 last week against Michael. You know, they're the ones that you've got to take out, and I do a lot of practice at the moment with AD and Michael Smith on bulls, and it's paying off for us.
Well, it certainly showed there. You're finishing 67%. I mean, that's very, very high, isn't it?
It is, yeah. You know, if you can keep 60 plus, you know, you're going to get your shots and get a good chance. So, yeah, we just got to keep finishing like that and step it up now for tomorrow.
Well, I'm sure you will. I'm sure you will. Great to see you next round. Ladies and gentlemen, Ian Diamond White.